Welcome to Broke Monkey Performance. Today we'll be taking off this LS engine. So I'll pretty much start off by taking off the exhaust. Carry la pistola. You just do that. Take off the exhaust. Also guys, if you guys have fiberglass, make sure you use gloves. Now that's just gonna poke the fuck out of you. Next we'll take off the intake. Start taking off all the connectors, all the wiring. Just get that all the way out. So before you disconnect all your wires like these ones, make sure you disconnect your battery, or in this case, pull it all the way out. If you don't, you'll get a lot of sparkies and possibly fry your ECM, TCM, all your modules. So do that. To make everything easier, in my case, I'm just gonna disconnect my fuel rails and just slide this off. That way I can slide off the wiring, get that under there, and on to the next steps. Also, when you guys take this off, store it in a dry place. Make sure you don't get any of the injectors covered in dirt or anything. Now I'm gonna take off the intake manifold. That way I can get more clearance to the wires in the back. So now that the intake manifold is off, if you guys are gonna reuse anything, make sure you cover all the holes. Make sure you don't break any of the connectors. That way you can reuse everything. So don't forget to disconnect anything at the bottom, your starter, then your crank sensor as well, just like that. And also disconnect your transmission in this case. If not, just pull off the flywheel bolts. Just disconnect everything that way. In this case, the motor's locked up, so we just have to leave it like that. Also unbolt any of the grounds you have. So now that you disconnected all your electrical, just go ahead, drain all your coolant out. And in my case, I drain it from the bottom. Regardless, on most vehicles, you got drained from the bottom. So when draining the coolant, try to keep it in a clean container if you're gonna reuse it. And yeah, sometimes you'll fucking make a mess like this. Just clean it. Try not to make a mess, obviously, but shit happens. Also guys, if you guys have a hose that's stuck onto the tube, so you can grab a little pick, pretty much just go around it, just to get it unstuck from the coolant tube. Try not to poke your coolant hose, because if not, then that's pretty much a wrap. Also, disconnect your coolant hoses from the water pump, so right here and down here. It's just, you have more clearance to take out the engine, and you're not making a mess, as much at least. Now that these are disconnected, just put them aside for now. Also guys, disconnect your spark plug wires before anything. In some cases, you'll definitely need to disconnect your ignition coils also. But mine's not connected to the engine, so you don't have to do that. Next, we'll start taking off the hood as well. Now that the hood is unbolted, we'll just have to take it off. Some cases, you'll need two people. Mostly, if you're not trying to damage anything. In this case, I'll just take it off real quick. Now that you have the hood off, just place it somewhere where it pretty much won't be in the way anymore. In this case, we'll just leave it here. So now that we have the hood off, we have a lot of clearance to pretty much bring in the engine hoist. So next step is pretty much going to be getting some bolts and a chain. Pretty much bolts it somewhere that's going to be secure enough to lift up the engine. In my case, I'm going to use the head. Just put a bolt in there, make sure it's the right thread, and it has enough thread to go in and be secure. Don't tighten it too much. And then pretty much just chain it up. Next step is going to be bring your engine hoist. Come on, Chico. You can do it. So, put your chain in here. This fucking securing pin doesn't really work. It's just there for lujo, you know. Then, next step is going to pretty much be lifting up your engine hoist enough to where you're going to be able to securely take out the bolts. So pretty much you want them somewhat tight, not too tight where you're gonna be able not to take out the bolts. So that's tight enough, just so you can take out the bolts. Engine mount bolts on this one are gonna be right there. So start by doing that. So now that we have the engine somewhat lifted, you're gonna want to make sure all your connectors are disconnected. all your ground cables, main positive cables, everything's disconnected, all bolts. Make sure everything's pretty much has enough clearance to come out. In my case, I had to take off the ignition coil brackets from this side, and I also had to take off my header on the driver's side because it was hitting the brake booster and also the master cylinder, so I had to take that off just so I could have enough clearance. Now it's pretty much loose. Take it all the way out. So now that we have it pretty much out all the way, I'm just gonna let it drain the rest of the way. That way, coming out, it doesn't make as much of a mess. It just gets into the catch can. But now that we pretty much have the engine out, I'm just gonna let it sit on this tire for now. If you have an engine stand, put it on the engine stand. Also, don't forget to cover it with a tarp or anything. That way no dirt gets into it. But that's pretty much for taking this LS out of this 1995 Mitsubishi Mighty Max. Pretty soon, I'll start making videos on taking it apart. Hopefully we can find what went wrong. If there's any salvageable parts, hopefully we can salvage some. If not, oh well. We will also be taking this for a lady back to the shop because it was giving me problems and it just got rebuilt. So warranty it is. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.